Lumiposa is a systemic seed treatment insecticide that has been developed to protect young oilseed rape seedlings from a broad range of pests. Plants are rapidly protected from insect feeding damage, allowing them to grow more vigorously for a better crop establishment. Cyantraniliprole, the active ingredient in Lumiposa, activates insects' ryanodine receptors, which play a critical role in muscle function. Contraction of muscles requires a regulated release of calcium from intracellular stores into the cell cytoplasm. However, cyantraniliprole molecules bind to the ryanodine receptors, causing an uncontrolled release of calcium. This prevents muscles from contracting and stops insects from feeding. Thanks to this mode of action, Lumiposa provides nearly immediate protection from feeding damage, even though pests may still appear to be active. Damage caused by pests can significantly harm the plants, which will also impact yield. Trials show that 21 days after sowing, 100% of plants were infested, having a 75% damaged leaf area. The biggest problem? Many different insects, for example cabbage flies, flea beetles and turnip sawflies, like to feed on these plants, and they do a lot of damage. Here you see the cabbage fly Delia radicum. At first glance, it looks like a small common housefly, but it has proven to be the most dangerous pest for oilseed rape in recent years. It also damages cabbage, turnips and other cruciferous crops. The adults are grey and measure up to 10 millimeters. The damage is done by the larvae, known as cabbage or root maggots. The females lay packages of 8 to 10 eggs in the soil, very close to the plant's stem. The main target of the maggots is the roots. Once the maggot has hatched, it burrows into the ground and penetrates the roots and lower part of the stem, where it forms galleries in the tender parts. Under the right conditions, you can find up to 300 maggots in one plant. Young plants can be destroyed completely. The growth of older plants can be slowed down. Destruction wherever you look. The larvae feed for 20 to 30 days. Then they develop into a pupa that either overwinters or, in a warm summer, directly develops into a fly for a new generation. 3 to 4 generations can occur per year, from early April to early October. Here you can see a cabbage stem flea beetle, Ciliod's chrysocephala. They also attack all kinds of cruciferous plants like cabbages, mustard and oilseed rape. Directly after hatching, maggots penetrate the plant. They gnaw their way into the pith, then pass into the stem and may also reach the terminal bud, weakening the whole plant. The adult beetles are around 3 to 5 millimeters long and attack the young plants soon after the first leaves emerge. Under high pest infestations, the seedlings can even be killed. The beetles chew holes in the young leaves. This gives the plant a shot hole appearance. Here you see typical behavior. The beetle feeds for a while, then it stops, cleans its feet, then its mouth apparatus, and finally its antenna. After a short break, it looks for a new place to feed. The most efficient way to stop early damage is seed treatment with an insecticide, but only a few solutions are available. New products with alternative modes of action are needed to meet new requirements for environmental safety and also because the pests are getting more and more resistant. Thanks to its mode of action, Lumiposa stops insect feeding rapidly. Plants are almost immediately protected from feeding damage, which allows them to grow more vigorously. A strong establishment at the beginning of a crop's growth can deliver secured yields and higher quality at harvest. Here you see the effect of cyantraniliprole on cabbage maggots. Soon after the maggots eat bits of the roots, they get slower and slower. They have problems with eating and finally stop eating altogether. They will still move a bit for days, but they won't harm the plant any longer. A similar situation with the cabbage stem flea beetle. This beetle bites a typical hole in the protected leaf. It cleans its feet, mouth and antenna, and then rests a while. Everything looks normal, but it doesn't start eating again. It looks disoriented, has problems staying on the leaf, and finally falls off. Others don't start walking again, they stay where they are. Some regurgitate, and sooner or later, most of them will fall off the leaf. Unlike their response to some insecticides, the pests might be alive for days until they drop, but they do not feed again or do any harm to the plant. The molecular differences between insects on the one hand and birds and mammals on the other are so big that cyantraniliprole has only minimal toxicity for humans, cattle, poultry and wild animals. For insects, cyantraniliprole is toxic mainly when they eat the protected plant, so the beneficials that help the farmer keep the pests at bay are unlikely to be affected. Lumiposa has a favourable toxicological and ecotoxicological profile if applied according to label recommendations. It selectively controls pests that feed on plant tissue. Lumiposa oilseed rapeseed treatments are unlikely to pose a risk to pollinators and beneficial arthropods due to the product's toxicity profile in combination with low to no exposure levels. These characteristics make Lumiposa the excellent choice for integrated pest management (IPM) programs by maximizing the effectiveness of beneficial arthropods. Lumiposa insecticide seed treatment in oilseed rape. Protection against key early season insect pests. Excellent seedling protection. Visibly superior plant establishment and vigor, a favorable environmental profile and pollinator safety. A new mode of action for seed treatment that makes Lumiposa ideal as a resistance management tool, and it's a new tool for integrated pest management programs. Lumiposa insecticide seed treatment, visibly stronger.